family, your health, your children's education. It's the news that affects you and how you live your life. The Early News with Gord Gillies, weeknights at 5 on Global Calgary.
The growing number of electronic devices we use around the house may be costing more than you realize.
Appliances with internal memory or digital readouts may be convenient, but they're boosting your power bill. Our consumer advocate Tony Tighe investigates the growing problem of standby power.
When you turn off the lights, lock the door and leave for the day, why is the electric meter still running? Because many of the electronic appliances you're not using are still drawing power.
The reality is that most of our appliances continue to draw, just small amounts of electricity even when we think they're off.
In fact, up to 10% of all the power we pay for is standby power. John Rilett with Climate Change Central uses an energy meter to prove it. He plugged in the cordless phone, and it's using 6 watts. The microwave is the worst, 20 watts. Now imagine that 24/7.
If you added that up against the amount of time that you actually run your microwave, you may use more electricity with it off.
And the list goes on. When you're not using your washer, it's using 5 watts. A computer, monitor, and printer all plugged in drains 12 watts. And if you have a TV, VCR, and DVD together, it's 9 watts. Treadmill, 3 watts. And the same for a clock radio. Even leaving your cordless drill battery sitting in the charger uses 6 watts. I tested 20 electronic or digital appliances in my house, and here's the standby power cost. All of the items together used 83 kilowatt hours of electricity. That's about $8 a month, and over a year, the total came to over $100. That's electricity I'm paying for but don't use. John Rilett says the first thing to do is unplug anything you don't use on a regular basis.
The next simple step to take is look for items that you use either occasionally or it's only sort of every few days or you don't need on all the time, and put them into a power bar. If you flip the power bar off, that means that you've cut out that standby power.
And when you buy an appliance, he says, look for ones with Energy Star ratings and the lowest standby power load. As you can see, all the power drained by those appliances during the day really adds up. There's a reason they call it vampire power. Now, if you're interested to see the numbers for your house, you can borrow one of these meters from any public library. For Global News, this is Tony Tighe reporting.
NMAX says if you take the average standby power use for the city of Calgary, it's equal to the same electricity generated by a wind farm. The federal government plans to deal with this problem in its new green plan. It's going to regulate a minimum standby consumption and force appliance makers to comply.
Well, we all know Calgary's real estate market is hot, and we have a story coming up that shows what lengths buyers will go to just to get a home.
People are already camping out to stake a claim on some lots coming up for sale on Saturday. We'll tell you about that next.